TGR News, broadcasting from the State of Israel.
Welcome back to TGR News.
Hello, hello.
Well, as we say every week, it really is a blessing you guys are doing for the people here in Israel, being able to, helping us be able to pass out the food to all the people here that need it. And it really is amazing to see how you guys are doing it every week, every month, but it ends up being every week. We, from your donations, we're able to feed the people here in Israel. It just fills our hearts with joy and pleasure, and knowing that we're doing what God wants us to do.
Exactly.
It really is something. Finally, the Passover is over, so we're back to the regular boxes of
products.
That made it a little bit more simple. It was a little bit of a
struggle,
a challenge
yeah.
to figure out what to buy for them or during the Passover, because so many things aren't sold in the supermarkets and everywhere because it's not kosher for Passover.
Yeah.
But we're back to regular boxes and back to the regular routine, and it like we always say, and it is 100% true. It is all thanks to you guys.
Yes.
All your donations and the fact that you guys are pitching in and answering God's call to help the people here in Israel. It really is a blessing, and we thank you so much. Okay. Well,
let's do it.
Let's get into it.
Yeah.
This week started off with rockets into the surrounding area were able to cause damage to homes and cars for the rockets that fell. This is the surrounding area of Gaza, right?
Yeah.
That's how the week started off.
Yeah.
Gaza's still shooting, and Hamas is still acting like they're not taking responsibility. It seems like a new thing they're doing now.
Yeah, new strategy, kind of.
And to make it go even further, what they did, which is also sort of new from Gaza, they shot many rounds of 50 caliber machine guns that flew through the Jewish homes in the area. Because, you got to remember, these places are real close. The Jewish homes in Gaza, obviously, it's so close you can shoot a machine gun and hit the houses. Yeah. Thank God there was no casualties, but there were, you could see where the bullets came through the houses and hit things, hit the cars, hit the electric kettles inside the kitchen. And
yeah. And it looks like they learn a new way to trigger Iron Dome with their some kind of little rockets or shot. I don't know. They shoot in the air, and sometimes it's like twice. I think last week the Iron Dome was working and no rockets was shooting too.
Yeah.
So they find a way. Well, for this, that's what we talked about. The IDF answered back by bombing an underground bunker that they used to make rockets and chemical agents.
Yeah, that was the IDF's answer. It was the same night they did it right away.
I didn't know they make chemicals and stuff.
Yes, they do. I think it was their plan. They have the hot, like the mini hot air balloons. They put it. They put their the stuff to start fires and everything. I think they're starting to have plans to use chemical stuff when they send over when the wind is blowing, right, which is usually almost always, because in this country the wind always blows from the shoreline into the state. So I think that's what they were making and planning to do. Yeah. The next night, Hamas fired 2 rockets, while Prime Minister Bennett this time made no retaliation, meaning yet another promise he broke, because he always said he was going to, every rocket that he did, he promised for every rocket fired from Gaza, the IDF would answer back with a painful strike. Yeah. And he didn't. He's already backing down off of that. It's always the same way with Gaza. It's always the same way. They slowly start shooting, and they shoot a little rocket here, and then we bomb a little factory there, and it's like tick for tat.
What's the name for it? Dripping.
Yeah, dripping. Yeah. Dripping. They drip rockets. That's what they call it in Hebrew. The taftef, dripping rockets, and they just slowly build up until they get the courage again, just like they did a few months ago, where they sent thousands of rockets. It's the same thing over and over and over. At the beginning of the week, Arabs at the Temple Mount also ramped up the violence by firing dangerous fireworks at the Jews that came to pray and attack the police in the area. You know, the Temple Mount, I don't know, whoever's not been here, the Temple Mount sits where the Temple Mount is. And then you have the Western Wall. The Western Wall is exactly that. It's the Western Wall of the Temple Mount, which is if you're standing at the Temple Mount and you look down, that's the Western Wall. So it's real easy for them to shoot over there and try to hurt the Jewish people who are coming to pray.
Yeah.
Right. And another thing is they, with these fireworks and everything, they're almost every time setting the Temple Mount on fire, which is supposed to be their holy spot, right?
They don't appreciate anything holy. There's nothing holy for them.
Yeah.
The radicals. It's like I saw a video of burning tree, and of course the Arabs, they was lying about us shooting and start burning their tree next to the Al-Aqsa. Yeah, and it's their fireworks, which they shoot on our soldiers and our police.
Yeah.
And we just standing there, don't answering them even. But of course, the world see it different way. Many lies been spreaded about this.
Yeah, there was what the police and everything to take control of the riots, like everywhere in the world. They use rubber bullets, so it's non-lethal. Just stun them hard enough to stop them. One guy got injured pretty seriously, and when the police came to take him, to help him, to take him to the hospital, the police were attacked doing that as well.
Yeah, but they took him. They took him anyway under fire. They took him. They're trying to help you guys. You shouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's continue. Mansour Abbas from Ram said that he cannot be a part of this government because he doesn't even recognize the right for Israel to exist as a Jewish state. Finally, he's telling the truth.
Yeah, well, he always did. He just never said it in the Knesset so much,
exactly.
Right? But
we knew that. We knew that.
Yeah, everyone knew that. You could hear when he talks. Now, this is a man in our coalition that Bennett made in the coalition in our government, right?
Yeah. Think about you have somebody in your government that don't agree with the existence of the country.
Yeah.
That's simple as that.
It was very clear because, he never called Israel when he talked to when he stood up and talked to he just called them the occupiers or or other names.
Yeah.
But he never named Israel as a state of Israel. He never recognized it. And this man is in our coalition, meaning he's part of the official government, not just a Knesset member, right?
Yeah.
Well, we'll keep going. There's more news. In the city of Rat, on Sunday morning, two Arabs in the middle of the street opened fire with automatic weapons on a coffee shop. Again, like we've been seeing over and over and over. Hours before, Arabs at night opened fire on a power lines trying to take out electricity, shoot out, and when they did that, they accidentally shot a little girl in her home.
Yeah.
Then in the evening, Arabs opened fire on another coffee shop in the city. This has all happened in a span of about 16 hours, what I just said, in the same city.
Yeah, Rahat is in the Negev. We talked about it last week.
Yep.
There's a big balagan there. And the main thing that's going on there is, I think that's what I understand, is two big families fighting each other just openly during the day, like in the middle of the day, they just go on fire and because the nature of many Arabs, the revenge, they have revenge nature.
Yes.
It's like how you said, honor of the family, and you have to revenge. You can't forgive. No forgiveness. So it's endless. They just shoot each other, and this girl that been injured, she was just living next to it's so sad. I know that Israel sent many policemen there to Rahat to try to force
Some sort of order
there.
Yeah. The like you were saying, what is all these situations are is basically Arab criminals, families trying to take control, right, over the criminal, let's call it the Israeli mafia kind of thing, right? And it really is sad. It's sad, and like everything when you talk about crime, if you don't get a hold of it quick, it spreads to the regular cities, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's something we need to take care of.
On Tuesday, two Arabs went into a store and tried to kill the owner of the store in the middle of the day. When the police came, they shoot at the officers. As we said, they just openly, in the middle of the day, they don't afraid. You see a video, they just go with the M16, I think it was, and just shoot in the air.
In the air, yeah, just in the middle of the street, in the middle of the day. It's becoming like they call it sometimes in the news here in Israel. They call it the Wild Wild West.
Exactly.
Yeah, making reference to back in the days of America, right?
Yeah.
It really is bad. Well, on Sunday night, a rocket was fired from Lebanon into Israel. It landed in an open field, and there was no one hurt because it was in an open field. Israel answered by firing artillery into Lebanon at the terrorist infrastructure that was part of Hezbollah's organization responsible for firing the rocket. Now, the actual infrastructure that we bombed with artillery was Hezbollah's infrastructure, but it seems like from the information and intelligence that we've gotten after, it seems like Hamas was a part of that too, using Hezbollah's infrastructure there. That's what it seems like. But it really doesn't matter who did what and why. The fact of the matter is you've got a country, a sovereign country, firing rockets into our sovereign country.
We blame Lebanon.
Yeah, you have to. There is no other way to look at it, right?
Exactly.
A country's firing into our country. Also on Sunday night, the IDF was fired upon in an area south of Jenin. Let's take a second. Jenin is this whole past few weeks, almost a month now, Israel's been going in and getting a lot of terrorists and really taking care of business in there. They were there to stop and arrest a mother of 4. That's what the IDF went to do. They went to arrest a mother of 4 that had plans and was already armed to head out and make a terrorist attack. During the same time the rockets was fired from Lebanon. No IDF soldier was harmed, and the terrorist responsible was immediately arrested when they were fired upon, and the mother was arrested. Now this is part of the intelligence that we figured out, that the IDF figured out later, of how Hamas was more doing the firing from Lebanon, because it was a planned attack. When the rocket came from Lebanon, this mother was headed out right before to be able to do at the same time a terrorist attack in some city here in Israel.
Yeah.
Yeah. A mother of 4.
Family.
Yeah. Wow. Think about that. That's what we're fighting here, folks.
Exactly. Well, I'm going to talk about something that I couldn't believe when I heard it first. After Prime Minister Bennett was found to have spent 50 million shekels to remodel his own house, now we find out that he has been spending over 50,000 shekels every month on food delivery from taxpayers, from our money, for his family food.
That's insane.
Don't you have a salary, and big salary?
Yeah, that's insane. And he's always made comments about how he's financially set anyway. So even if he didn't make money, but he's whatever. That's insane. It's like any job. Any job you have a salary, you get paid. With the money you get paid, that's the money you use, the money you made, the money that you've been paid for your job. That's the money you use to renovate your house, to buy your food, to pay your property tax, to pay. And by the way, not only 50 million shekels to renovate his house from taxpayers' money, the property tax that you have to every month here to pay was also he pays from taxpayers' money, and everything. His electrical bill, his everything, we pay, right? And now 50,000 shekels
every
month on food, on takeaway. I
don't know what he's eating.
Yeah, who knows what he's eating? After Prime Minister Bennett's dishonest ways, he is now receiving threats, and the rest of the country is calling for him to make at least one good decision and quit. He answered by saying, "Okay, from now I'll just buy my own food." Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, even not sorry, even not like I will pay back. I don't know.
Well, what I guess good and bad is his time is almost up, and then he's supposed to relinquish his seat to Yair Lapid, and I don't know if that's better or worse.
I think everything's better than Bennett now.
I don't know. We'll
That's
have to
fine.
wait and see. It's
This past Wednesday evening began Holocaust Day to remember the 6 million killed. In Israel today, over 161,000 Holocaust survivors are left. 40,000 of them are living in poverty. In the past year, 15,553 died. The average age of Holocaust survivors is 85,
yeah.
which means in a little bit we won't have anybody to tell the story from first hand.
Firsthand, yeah. Yeah,
That's sad.
100 over. Actually, it was 161,400 are left in the state of Israel, and 40,000 of them live in poverty. Man, these people, these people
They
have been through real, horrors of life. They've seen the worst of the worst. It's sad. These. Like she said, was yesterday evening. In Israel, holidays and days in general are changed not at midnight, at night. It's from sunset to sunset. So yesterday evening was the end of a Holocaust Day, and it really is something special, though. You're driving out wherever, and the sirens go off at 10 o'clock in the morning, and no matter where you're at, everyone stops. It's a beautiful thing, but it's a horrible thing to remember. But it's beautiful how we all respect it, and everything stops for when those sirens go off for time of reflection, for a whole minute or 2 minutes, I think it is.
Yeah, a minute. For
a minute, and it really is something special. But these Holocaust survivors, like Ola said, it won't be long before there won't be no one left to tell us the stories firsthand. The ones that are left, like she said, was 85 and a half, the average age, and they were kids when it happened. When they were like young kids and during the Holocaust, and but it'll be all on us afterwards to continue the stories and everything. That's what all Yad Vashem's about. The museum here in Israel about the Holocaust. Well, you got anything you want to say?
No, not today.
You sure?
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you guys again. It really is a blessing what you guys are allowing us to do here with your wonderful donations and being able to help the people here in Israel. It really is something special, and we thank you so much. So don't forget to join us at thegoldenreport.com. Until next week.
Shabbat shalom.
God bless.